Typically in Texas, a divorce is going to take you probably 4 to 6 months. In most situations, it's never going to go beyond a year, which is a good thing. You don't want your divorce to drag out. You want to be able to get to a resolution for both yourself and your children. How long your divorce takes will often pivot on where your divorce is filed. Some courts will move cases along very quickly. They have schedules that they put out. You'll get a trial date not long after you file your case so that you have a roadmap, you have a timeline of what needs to happen, and the courts will kind of push you to get it done because they want to clear their dockets. That helps you because it gives you some certainty in knowing that your divorce will, in most cases, be done by a certain time frame. Other courts will let things linger. They won't issue a scheduling order. They won't push the parties along to get to the end. And so a lot of how long it takes to get a divorce will depend on where you end up filing your case. So to file for divorce in Texas, a lot of people don't realize that it's a divorce is a lawsuit, just like any other lawsuit. It's a legal process. You got married by a legal process. You had a marriage license when you got married that was issued by the state. And so getting divorced is also a legal process. So you have to file a lawsuit. One of you has to be the one that files the petition for divorce. And that will identify you and your spouse and your kids, if you have any, and what you're asking for in the divorce. The second part of that is that you need to let the other person know. You can't get divorced in secret. They got to know what is going on. So there's 2 ways to go about doing that. One of which is to have them served. Just like you see on TV, you see the process server or a cop walk up to the person and say, hey, here's your papers, you've been served. That is one way to do it. Another way is to just give them a copy of the divorce petition and ask them to sign what's called a waiver of service. That's often a sort of a kinder, gentler way to start the divorce process, and then they can respond to the divorce once they've received that copy. To get divorced in Texas, the one absolute document you need is a final decree of divorce. You're going to have this document that is either created after you and your spouse have come to agreements, whether informally or through a mediation process, or if you've gone to court and the judge has told you what's going to happen, then that decree of divorce is going to contain all of either the agreements or the orders from the judge. The judge is going to sign off on it, and that is an enforceable binding order from a court that can be enforced, and the orders carried out from that. Other documents that are going to be necessary in a Texas divorce are an inventory. You're going to work with your lawyer to put together a list of all of your assets, all of your liabilities. A lot of times we do this on a spreadsheet, and we list out every piece of property, every account, the values of those accounts, whether it's community property, whether it's separate property, and then we make a proposal as to how we want that divided. So if you want to keep the house, you put that on your side of the spreadsheet. And if they want to keep their retirement, we put that on their side of the spreadsheet. Some other documents that get included in divorce are a financial information statement. If you are asking in your divorce to be provided interim spousal support, meaning you need to have money to pay your bills, to take care of the kids during the divorce, then you're going to fill out this financial information statement. And that's essentially your budget. What do you need every month to live your life? What money do you have coming in? What money does your spouse have coming in? What other assets out there might be available to support your life while the divorce is going on? So mediation is a process where the parties sit down with their attorneys, and we have a third party person, it's usually an attorney, and that person tries to negotiate, tries to broker a deal between the two parties to the divorce, the husband and the wife. So usually this is set up so that You're sitting in one room with your attorney. They're sitting in another room with their attorney. These days, a lot of mediations are done by Zoom, so nobody's even in the same building, and we're just on a screen talking with the mediator. But the key part of this is that in almost all situations, you are not in the same room as your spouse. It's not like you see on TV. You're not having to sit across the table from them and argue. The arguing goes on behind closed doors. So, but you use that process to kind of figure out what you can live with. Nobody gets 100% of what they want in mediation. It's a give and take. And so at the end, if you're able to come up with a resolution that you both can live with, you may not be 100% thrilled with it, but it's a way to move forward. It's a way to take power and make decisions for yourself in the process rather than letting a judge make those decisions for you. If you're wondering what to expect in a Texas divorce court, give us a call at DeFord Law Firm.